The air is damp. Chains clink. Somewhere in the dark, a man sobs. Then, screams. Wooden wheels creak as a prisoner is stretched until bones snap. A voice, calm and cold, asks, "Do you still deny the charges of heresy?" And through the cries, a whisper, "God help me." This was the Inquisition. Not a battlefield. Not a castle under siege. But a war fought in shadows, in dungeons, in courts where the verdict was already written. A war that began after Montsegur's flames had died, but whose fire would spread across Europe for centuries. Welcome back to the Forbidden History Vault, where the truths they buried are unearthed, one story at a time. If you thought Béziers was brutal, where an entire city was butchered with the chilling words, "Kill them all, God will know his own," you haven't seen brutality yet. If you thought Montsegur was the end, where mothers walked into fire with their children and sang as the flames swallowed them, then you're not ready for what came next. Because the Inquisition didn't just kill bodies. It tried to kill ideas. It tried to burn memory itself. The year is 1244. The pyres of Montsegur have barely cooled. 200 Cathars walked into the flames rather than renounce their faith. The church saw victory. But behind closed doors, it saw something else, a threat that refused to die. They realized swords and catapults could not crush belief. Béziers proved slaughter was not enough. Montsegur proved burning was not enough. Heresy had to be rooted out at its core, in thought, in memory, in whispers passed in the dark. And so, the Inquisition was born. Picture this, a knock on your door in the dead of night. You open it to find men in robes, carrying parchment with seals. They don't explain. They don't accuse. They simply say, "Come with us." And you never return. This wasn't war anymore. It was bureaucracy. A machine designed to hunt thought itself. The church gave the Inquisition extraordinary power. They could summon anyone. Rich, poor, knight, peasant, priest. No one was safe. To refuse was to prove your guilt. And the trials? They were theater. Because guilt was assumed the moment your name was whispered. Your only way out was confession. And confession could be beaten, burned, or broken out of you. Let's be clear, torture wasn't an accident of the Inquisition. It was the system. The rack, the strappado, the water torture, these weren't punishments. They were tools to extract what they called truth. Imagine being suspended by your wrists until shoulders dislocate. Imagine water poured into your lungs until you choke. And then, when you gasp out a confession just to make it stop, that confession becomes holy proof. Proof to condemn you. But here's the darkest twist, you didn't need enemies. Your neighbors could be the ones who betrayed you. The Inquisition encouraged people to report on each other. A careless word. A whispered joke. Even silence in church. Suddenly, you were suspect. Imagine living in that paranoia. Every friend a potential spy. Every family dinner a risk. Trust became a luxury no one could afford. Husbands testified against wives. Children against parents. Priests against their own parishioners. No one was untouchable. The Cathars were gone, but the Inquisition kept searching. Rumors spread of hidden heretics in caves, villages, forests. Even whispers of Cathar treasure fueled the hunt. Did someone smuggle out secret texts? Did the Grail itself slip through their hands? The Inquisition wanted answers. And anyone who refused to give them, burned. But the machine didn't stop with the Cathars. Once created, the Inquisition needed fuel. Waldensians, Jews, Muslims, witches, even philosophers, all would fall under its shadow. The system spread like wildfire, from France to Spain, from Italy to Germany. And everywhere it went, the message was the same, obey, or burn. Today, we still have the Inquisition's records. Pages and pages of names, charges, confessions. It's chilling. Because you can read the words of terrified villagers trying to explain why they skipped mass, or why their prayers sounded different. Ordinary lives, frozen on parchment, turned into evidence of eternal damnation. It wasn't just about death. It was about memory. To be branded a heretic was to have your name poisoned forever. To erase your reputation, your family, your story from the earth. But even as the Inquisition spread, whispers of Montsegur refused to die. What happened to the treasure smuggled out the night before the fortress fell? Gold? Manuscripts? The Grail? The Inquisition wanted it too. And in their hunt, they tortured men into describing visions, maps, and secrets they may never have known. Some claim the Inquisition's obsession with forbidden knowledge was greater than their zeal against heresy. Because in their vaults, they kept not just confessions, but secrets. Secrets still locked away in archives the church does not open. Manuscripts hidden. Names erased. Questions unanswered. The Inquisition became more than just a court. It became a ghost. A shadow that haunted every household, every tavern, every sermon. Parents told children, don't speak. Don't question. Don't even think. Thought itself became dangerous. And that's the true horror of the Inquisition. Not the flames. Not the racks. But the silence. The way it taught millions to police their own minds, to erase their own doubts before the Inquisitors ever knocked. But here's the twist, as much as the Inquisition terrified Europe, it also backfired. In trying to stamp out ideas, it gave them power. It forced them underground, where they grew in secret. Some say it even planted the seeds of rebellion centuries later. Seeds that would explode in the Reformation, and beyond. So, if Béziers was the bloodbath, and Montsegur was the pyre, then the Inquisition was the smoke that darkened the sky. But smoke has a way of spreading. And in our next episode, we'll follow that smoke into Spain, where the Inquisition reached its darkest and most infamous form. Where entire nations trembled. And where fire consumed not just heretics, but entire cultures. Stay tuned. This was the Forbidden History Vault. And remember, some vaults were sealed, for a reason.